Show me something. Hello and welcome to the Show Me Something podcast. My name is Will.
I'm Trevor.
And I'm Jacob.
And this week I showed the boys the film The Long Goodbye, 1973, directed by Robert Altman, based on a classic Raymond Chandler novel of the same name. Classic noir film, maybe even the sound of like a neo-noir. I guess the book is more of a classic noir. Starring Elliot Gould and a bunch of other random people that I don't know, aside from the guy who plays the minister in Wedding Crashers. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Trevor.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, actually. Yeah, like it was a good movie. I liked. I mean, I don't know how to talk about almost anything without getting into spoilers.
Overall themes and stuff, you know.
Overall themes were great. I love what's his name, Elliot Gould, Monica and Chandler's dad.
Cool.
Elliot Gould. I'm sorry. Also, what else was some other stuff that I know him from? Oh yeah, Oceans, of course, the Oceans series.
Yeah.
And apparently he was Ron Stoppable's dad in Kim Possible.
Good shout.
Didn't know that. I remember hearing his voice now that I looked up a YouTube video, but yeah, good stuff. I give it a solid. Man, I didn't think about this as much as I should have.
I know. I just thought about the rating. Right. I just wrote it down.
8. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Word.
Really enjoyed it.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was pretty solid. I thought the pacing at times was a little bit slow, but you kind of find that with noirs in general. But the characters are really good. The main character is super witty, and really smart with people. He's like a little bit of an asshole, but I think that plays well with any sort of private investigator. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I watched it with Abby. She loved it. I wasn't as high on it as she was. I'd probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was really good. And definitely a movie that I would recommend to anyone that likes detective movies with witty writing.
Yeah.
And doesn't mind older movies since it's from 1973.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's I think this is my third time seeing it now. It's not like one that I've lived with for a long time, but I think I watched it for the first time after college, so sometime around 2014, 2015, and I've seen it a few times since then. I like it more and more every time I see it. I love Elliot Gould's performance.
You always love to find movies like that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I kind of forget how good it is, and then I rewatch it. I'm like, oh shit, this is like, just has a lot of stuff that I love. I mean, I love California. It does a great job of representing California. I think a good 70s movie is great. Elliot Gould's performance is awesome. The music is wonderful. It's a John Williams score, which I didn't know about until this watch. So, yeah, I mean, part of me wants to say a 10 out of 10, but I don't think it's perfect. So I'll probably give it like a 9, maybe a 9.5.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's great style, got great writing, like Cobb and Trev said. If you're in the mood to watch a sassy asshole kind of stumble around Los Angeles in the 70s for a couple hours, check it out. It's free on Amazon Prime right now, so definitely recommend from the three of us, sounds like.
Yeah,
absolutely. I 100% recommend this. It was very fun.
And watch a character who presumably doesn't sleep for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, honestly.
He does most of his time in the wee hours of the night or early morning.
We literally
just like, go Trev.
We'd literally see him asleep once, and that's at the very beginning.
But even then, he's waking up, and it's the middle of the night.
3 a.m.
Yeah,
they're like, it's pretty late.
Yeah. He kind of just, I mean, I've read also, like I was reading about it, trying to find anecdotes and stuff like that, and someone mentioned that it's pretty much like he just sleepwalks through the entire movie. He's
that's
like
what it feels.
Lackadaisical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His body language is like he's fucking exhausted all the time.
Yeah.
And he's chain smoking to stay awake.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, spoiler zone.
Yeah, entering the spoiler zone.
All right.
Actually, I had
Cool.
one question that Abby
Yeah.
brought up to me. I didn't notice it, but I remembered it when you were talking about the score. Is every song a variation of the same song?
Yeah.
They're
It's
always
gotta
singing
be.
The Long Goodbye.
It's
right?
they're all the long goodbye. Yeah.
And that's so crazy. That's such a cool
Yeah.
idea.
That's a very cool
like-
idea. No,
Go,
go for
Trey.
it. No, go.
I just like the fact that it's both diegetic and non-diegetic music.
Yeah.
So like for people who haven't gone to film school or aren't nerds like the three of us, that means like it's both music that is the score and also is both music that would be playing that the characters can hear, such as like radio in a car or
Yeah.
like on the street in Mexico at one point.
At that party.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
party
like-
with the hippies singing or whatever.
Yeah, they're all singing it. Yeah, it's really fucking cool.
It was really cool. At first, I was like, "Oh, interesting." Like whenever the opening sequence is happening, and we already had 2 hits, like 2 goes of the song, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, so they're throwing in songs that have the words "Long Goodbye" in there," because I didn't realize it was the same song at first. I was like, because it was such a different tone, like musical, like accompaniment and all that stuff for the 2 versions of it at the beginning. I was like, wow, they found 2 songs that say "A Long Goodbye" in them. Wow, that's crazy. And then as I'm
Yeah.
going along, I'm like, there's another one. This is the same song
Yeah.
over and over again. And it was so good. Oh, I really did enjoy that.
Yeah, it's
like
a really cool idea.
picking it out every now and then. Like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there it is again. Like,
Yeah. They sing it, I think, in different languages at one point too, and like there's different instrumental variations of it. Like,
oh, for
it's-
sure.
Yeah. It's
The
tight.
funeral procession.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had
That's
it.
like a-
I think
Yeah.
that was the one that really solidified it for me. Like, okay, every song in this movie is this song.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
But yeah, now fully entering the spoiler zone. Sorry.
We're immersed. Um,
But yeah, like we
First-
said, it starts with him waking up from his cat.
Oh, he's got the best cat in the world. Dude.
great movie cat. Yeah, that's my
My
first
biggest
notice. Great
question
movie
at the
cat.
end of this is the cat okay? What happened to the cat?
See, I thought like by
Throughout
the end
the
of
movie, he's asking, "Where's the cat? Has anybody
Yeah.
seen my goddamn cat?"
I
And
love
everybody's
my
like, "You got a
cat,
cat,
yeah.
pussy?" And I'm with this dude. I want to
Where's
see
the
if the
cat?
cat's okay. I'm worried about my cat right now, and I know he's out in the living room.
straight up, I was really expecting the end of the movie to be him going home and the cat showing back up and him
Yeah.
going, "Oh, I still haven't gotten him the right food yet." Like,
That poor cat, man. He ran away. He was pissed.
Bro, that fucking dinner he makes the cat is so disgusting. It was just like cottage cheese and a raw egg and some salt. And
Yeah.
he just like mixed it up.
To be
cottage
fair,
cheese.
those are things that like cats like. Cats like cheese and cats like eggs.
That cat was not about that meal.
No, it didn't
at
like
all.
it.
I don't know if like I know cats like cheese, but do cats like cottage cheese?
That I don't know.
I feel like
I feel
that's
like
a
they can't.
Not a
very
hundred, no.
weird like subset of cheese to try and give
Yeah.
a cat.
I know they like
very-
cream cheese.
It's a very niche cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, cream
Um,
cheese makes sense though.
Yeah. But
Cottage cheese isn't very cheesy. It's just like watery.
it doesn't really taste like a whole lot, does it?
No, it's like watery mozzarella,
It's weird.
Yeah.
but worse.
And like I used to apparently eat a lot of cottage cheese when I was a little kid.
So did I. I ate a
And-
ton of it.
Nowadays I couldn't tell you the last time I ever even had it.
I think I've only ever had it like twice. I had it once doing a food time back in the day because we had never had it before that, which was as a YouTube video that I did with my friends. And then the second time was when I got blackout drunk, and we ate cottage cheese and wavy lays, and I threw up so much it was insane.
Jesus, that's not good drunk food,
That
man.
sounds horrible.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever blacked out, so it was a good time.
Interesting.
Probably the cottage cheese that did it.
It was the only thing in the fridge, man. We wanted dip.
It was fermented.
God, that's fucking.
It was
that's
fucked. It was
heinous.
fucked up. Well, what are you gonna do, kids?
Kids, yeah, classic kids.
So straight up, there was a lot. This is like right after that scene, or even before. Is it? I don't
Huh?
know. Whatever. It's the first time we see his crazy hippie lady neighbors just
Yeah, well, I
topless
don't-
all the time.
So I don't understand
Just-
what the point of that was, because it comes up all the time. They're always in the background, but they don't have anything to do with the story at all.
They're just there. They're just atmosphere.
They're an excuse for
why are they
there to be
always
titties
naked?
on the screen all the time.
Robert Altman was horny, I guess. I don't know, dude.
He was like, this is gonna be dope. They're like always in focus too in the background, naked.
Of course.
And everyone who comes to his apartment is like, this is what you live next to?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would be shocked because like they're just out on the balcony naked.
I mean,
dude, it's the 70s.
be pretty hype. I mean, this is a
those
cool
are-
apartment building, by the way.
Yeah, it's like the greatest. It's one of my favorite movie houses, I think. Like,
It's really cool.
Naked Neighbors notwithstanding. Like, just the fact that he takes an elevator up to this, like, dope-ass...
It's
Yeah.
like up a cliffside.
It's like a cliffside apartment. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really sweet.
It's so crazy. Like, that whole... And the elevator's separate entirely from, like, it looks like all the rest of the apartments and stuff. So you
yeah,
have to,
it's like just an elevator tunnel up to the top.
I would, like...
Shaft.
People are like,
Dump.
you live in... This is where you live. It's a dump. And I'm like, not really.
Sick,
No.
Like,
actually.
Yeah,
A
very
couple
sick.
of, like, improvements. Maybe some slightly better furniture and
A
a
little
fresh
bit
coat of paint.
DIY.
Fix that broken window, and it's like that's a clean, nice place right there.
Fix all
like-
the match strikes on the walls above his bed.
Well,
yeah,
fresh
dude
coat
was
of
doing
paint.
that everywhere. The
I
time
love
when I was
that.
really shocked by it was when he went to the grocery store after the first scene, and he did
Just
it on
did it in the window?
Like, yeah, is that possible? Is there enough friction?
There's those
Who knows,
strike
dude?
anywhere matches, man. They let you
That's
strike
just how
anywhere.
fucking cool he is. That he's just hitting
You
matches.
just walking
dog.
in and you just boom like.
I mean,
flick
did you
it right
notice
on
him
the
doing it
wall.
on his thumb too?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
I
he
only noticed it when he was
striked it
doing
on his
the
thumb a
walls.
couple of times.
Dude doesn't give a
Um,
fuck, dude.
Yeah, that...
I did feel like.
So
oh, sorry.
No, go. I was going on, so you go.
I felt like he lit the same cigarette multiple times, though, a couple of times. I felt there was times where, like, he would light it and, like, be talking, and then, like, we
I mean,
cut
it's
to a new...
possible it went out, you know.
I
Like,
guess,
if he's
but, like-
not smoking and he's talking to people.
I guess we cut to another shot, though, and, like, he just lit that cigarette, and then now he's, like, for dramatic effect, striking another match and lighting again. I'm like, didn't you just light that cigarette? Like, what the heck? Also, no lighter. Just a ton of matches.
A lot of matches, yeah. The only time I noticed anything weird with the cigarettes was the funny part where he drops his cigarette and then the guy like launches it and like makes a comment about how he dropped it, and it feels like the actor dropped it on accident and then the actors kind of just rolled with it. That's what it felt like.
I could
Because
definitely
I don't
see
even
that.
remember.
Because
that.
it was a good take. It was when he's
Yeah.
talking to the author on like the beach, and he's like, so the author is talking to his wife,
Yeah,
and then he
okay.
turns around, he's like, "Did you drop your cigarette?" And he launches it, and
Yeah,
and the main character kind of like laughs, and it doesn't seem like him,
Yeah.
but they go with the take, and I mean, I guess they it feels like they just went with it because it was like a
Probably.
good take.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like it would have been in the script, like drop your cigarette.
No, that's a fair point.
That's some classically
Um,
trained actors right there. Getting that
Yeah.
improvisation going.
I don't actually know. I didn't look anything up. Don't take it as word. I'm gonna be cited in a Wikipedia article.
Shit. He's gonna get outed. Yeah, it's kind of a weird... I feel like I'm thinking about, like, where to go next, and it's kind of a weird movie to talk about, like, chronologically almost, because it's very,
Jumpy.
like, jumpy, but also, like, it kind of just, like, floats along. You know, like, there is a story, but it's... At almost, like, a lot of the time, to me, the story seems almost secondary. Like, I'm just kind of enjoying spending time with that character and, like, going about his day, you know, even though he's on the case
Yeah.
the whole time.
I would say there's like a couple of different storylines that all kind of tie in together.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
It's kind of crazy
Yeah, I
how
mean-
some of these storylines tie in.
Yeah.
Like the
yeah,
fact
especially
that he
like
got,
at first when you see him at face value, and I was like, this has nothing to do with anything else. Like
Yeah.
when he does his case, like after he gets let out of jail, I'm like,
Yeah.
what does this have to do with anything?
Yeah.
apparently everything.
I mean, it all ties in, obviously, but like it's like so random at first. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we're just moving on with this guy's life.
Yeah.
He's got to move on.
Gotta move on. So, I guess, so he wakes up. The cat needs food. He doesn't like the cottage cheese dish.
Picky's cat.
So
on Earth.
he commits to going out at 3 a.m. to the, local market.
Mm-hmm.
and the guy
hippie
that
girls
works there
ask
is
for
an
brownie
absolute
mix.
dick.
Yeah, the guy who works there's a dick, which is great. He mocks
Yeah,
him for
that
having
the
a cat.
the shelf stalker or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just.
I don't need a
like-
cat. I have a girlfriend. Like, what?
What? You can have both.
The guy just mumbles to himself. He's like, I guess I got a cat instead of a girl. Fuck. And he's like smoking a cigarette. He's all disheveled. He's fucked up. He's like, all right, fuck, shit.
When he's walking around and like up until that scene, and I think right basically until his friend gets to his apartment, and when he gets back with the not Corey brand cat food, that's all. Does it not sound like voiceover to you the entire time? Because his audio is so clear.
A lot of it does.
A lot of it sounds like it was bad ADR.
But the point that I noticed it the most was when they were in like the car the first time he goes to Mexico, and he's like talking to the guys, like trying to bribe them or whatever. Actually, that might be the second time he goes to Mexico.
It's the second time,
but it's all street shots, and like you never see them inside. You never see their faces. You see their hands
just the dollar
on the cash. And you see the exterior of the car, and it's all just like that kind of poorly recorded ADR. And you're like, oh.
There was quite a few scenes though where I noticed like I felt like the lips were not syncing up with what people were saying quite right. It was like close, but I'm looking and I'm like that was too clear and didn't seem like it was like lined up correctly.
Yeah, I didn't look into it or anything, but it was especially noticeable to me in the beginning when he's like leaving his apartment and he's talking to the neighbors, and they're kind of like, it sounded like there was like natural audio. I don't know what you call that, but he sounded very like dubbed over. But
there's a lot of ADR in this.
He has a great line before he gets to the grocery store when he's leaving. The neighbors, after they ask him to get like brownie mix or whatever, and they're like, "You're the nicest neighbor," and then he like mumbles to himself. He's like, "I gotta be the nicest neighbor. I'm a private eye." You know, like that's a great little.
I was like, that's kind of weird to say out loud, but I guess that's so the audience knows he's a private eye.
Yeah, and I think also like pretty much anytime he's talking to himself is more or less like what would be inner monologue in a book, but since it's a movie, he's just like kind of gives himself some flavor, you know?
Yeah, I guess so.
Also, is it kind of weird that he puts on a suit to go to the store in the middle of the night?
No.
He wears a suit the whole movie.
Yeah, but it caught me off. It's so weird. Like
that's the only clothes he has, man.
Yeah, I mean he's really stuck on his suit because like later on they ask him to like take off his tie and he like refuses.
Yeah,
like, I'm not taking off.
The only time he takes it off just to go into the ocean to save.
And he even takes it off and is like, "Hold my tie."
Yeah. She goes in the water. She goes in after him.
So what a weird! I can't wait to get to that scene because that's a weird scene.
It's a bizarre scene. It's shot so strange. Like seemingly on a low budget.
Yeah,
the whole movie parts. I think throughout the movie there are parts that seem low budget.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of it. Like, I mean, well, I guess that would just be the whole. It feels low budget to me.
yeah. I wonder what the budget was. I mean, I don't know. I love how the movie feels. And it's weird because like Robert Altman is like a huge director, but he was like really prolific at this time. He made MASH and some other shit.
Haven't seen it, but everybody always
says
it's so
Elliot
great.
Gould was in that as well.
Yeah.
So that's
cool.
apparently
one of the store.
Him, Robert Gould, and the director apparently did 5 movies together, which this and MASH were 2 of them, and I don't remember what the other ones were. I was just looking at that a minute ago, and I lost it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So they've worked together quite a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're good. I was just going to keep the story going. So he gets back to the apartment, and throughout the title sequence, we're watching Philip Marlowe and his friend, whose name I forget.
It's something Lennox.
Terry
Lennox.
Yeah, Terry Lennox is, as of right now, you don't know who he is, but he's driving right throughout the whole title sequence. They're cutting back and forth between Marlowe and Lennox, and then turns out Lennox is coming to Marlowe's apartment. He gets there when Marlowe gets back from the grocery store with the cat food.
He tries to switch the can. Yeah, he tries to switch the cans on the cat, and then the cat notices and leaves.
Yeah.
And then while he's looking for the cat,
to never be
I think
seen
is when
again.
Terry shows up.
That's what it is. Yeah. Also a great little cardboard on the window. It said El Porto del Gato.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. So Terry comes in, says he's in trouble, or he needs to go somewhere. He's just like driving to Mexico. Basically, he has scratches on his face.
Yeah, he's like, I got in a fight with my wife or whatever.
Yeah, and so Marlo. He's like an old friend, and then,
Yeah.
and then we just cut to they're like in the car in Mexico.
He's
And-
like, yeah, I need to drive to Mexico.
on the border,
and he's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, at the border.
okay, sure. Like, what a good friend, first of all.
yeah. And then
I mean,
he
they're in
gets
LA,
back-
so it's not like that huge of a drive.
Yeah,
That's a pretty
like-
decent
Still,
drive.
it's still
What,
probably like
Orlando?
4 or 5 hours.
yeah. It's a couple hours for sure.
Just like your buddy shows up in the middle of the night and is like, hey, I'm in trouble. I need a ride to Mexico. And he's
Yeah.
just
No
like,
questions asked. Bro.
okay, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Good dude.
Good friend.
dude. So he drops him off. Marlo gets back to LA, gets back to his apartment, and the cops are waiting for him, or like they're coming. I think they were waiting for him, right? Because they're like
The
following
cops-
him
I think
up
so,
to-
yeah.
Yes, the cops were waiting for him upstairs at his apartment.
Yeah, and he's like kind of nonchalantly trying to get into his house and not like pretending not to notice the cops are like following him in.
And he's like, yeah, calling the cat. He's like, come on, kitty, kitty,
yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah,
So-
he doesn't care about authority at all.
no.
He does not care.
So then we have an extended period of police interaction, where
A little
lot
bit of
the
police
story is laid out.
brutality and corrupt cops and stuff.
The cops are
Yeah.
bastards in this movie.
Yeah, they
it's
are.
Great. It's funny. It's played for good comedic effect, I think.
They're so fucking sweaty too when they bring them back
Yeah.
to the station. They're the
That was
sweatiest
my-
people I've ever seen.
The sweatiest interrogation, and also
They're dropping the
basically-
F word easy.
Yeah.
70s.
it's a good R.
So
It's a
many
good R,
times.
solid R. So basically, what happens is the cops are there because Terry Lennox's wife has been killed, and they, for some reason, knew that Terry Lennox, like the last person to see Terry Lennox, is Philip Marlowe, right? So,
Well,
Yeah.
his car was at his apartment.
oh yeah, true. Yeah, see,
it
like
was parked
the
in his
plot to me
garage.
is like so nebulous. Like
They-
I like,
Yeah, they found Terry's car at,
In his garage.
yeah. What
Yeah.
is our main character's
and they
name
spoke
again?
to the Philip Marlowe,
Philip's car. Yeah, Terry's car at Philip's place.
spoke to
And
his
they were like,
neighbors.
You drove him to Mexico, right? And he's like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And he's like,
I'm trying to
yeah,
find my
question.
cat. Yeah.
He
And they
avoids
show-
questions the whole time.
Yeah,
Even when
until-
they arrest him.
Basically, he avoids questions right up until they show him the picture of Terry's dead wife.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah. The drama on his face at that point was really dope. Like, he's kind of just been one note up until that point in the movie, like kind of an asshole. You know,
He rubs
like
the
Hobbs
ink
said.
all over his fucking face from his
Yeah.
hands.
I really
That was
thought he
great.
was going to... I was
That
getting
was
worried
great.
when he was doing that. I was like, is he going to make like a weird blackface joke or something? Like,
No, thankfully,
No,
no.
He
I
was
start-
just being bizarre.
he was just being
Yeah.
bizarre, but I was getting a little like sketched out. I was like, is this going to go there? It didn't, thank
You
God.
don't. You
but-
don't have to worry about that for me. I wouldn't bring a movie like that. Yeah. That. So they
Will
showed
just
him that
brings
picture.
Birth of a Nation next week. It's
uh,
like,
I'm
whoa,
not
what
even
the
gonna- I'm not even
fuck?
gonna make a joke about like.
Will,
that.
all right.
Like, what the fuck? We fucking watched that in college. Did you watch that in college?
No,
Never seen it.
We watched
No,
it in
never.
college. Like in a
Why?
class.
Oh, is he going to bring it now?
Fuck no. Fuck that movie.
Me and Jacob haven't seen it.
Fuck. All right, this
Fuck
is
that
over.
So yeah, super sweaty interrogation. He finds out Terry's wife has been murdered. They apparently are both good friends of his, so like he looks like visibly upset.
Yes.
For the first
Yeah.
time.
I mean,
And like that, I think does even that alone does enough to establish his stakes in this quote unquote case, right?
Right.
Why he's so determined the whole time to find out what happened, was like written on his face in that interrogation, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
So
They
he
put-
gets
yeah. They put him in a cell.
for
with
nothing.
it-
They
with
just hold
his
him.
his cellmate that just fucking talks all the
incessantly.
time.
Never
I like the
stops
line-
talking.
when
I mean,
when
he
he's
seems
leaving.
friendly with him, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. Is like throughout the movie, Marlowe knows everyone. Like there's not a single character he doesn't know, and I think they make a point to like reestablish that throughout. But he comes across characters who are new to us, but he's like incredibly familiar with the exception of like a few.
Yeah, like that thug later on, the guy
Yeah.
that like follows him around.
Harry?
He's like,
Yeah,
it's you.
dude. I love that.
If you're gonna
love
be
that.
it's like, come on, man, you got to do
He's
better
like
than
bad
that.
at it. He's bad
Dude,
at being a
that
bad
whole
guy.
Yeah, those sequences are so funny. He has a line when he's leaving prison. When he tells that guy, he's like, "You're not in here. It's just your body."
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
he's
that
got
was a
these,
good
little
line.
stupid quips.
But yeah, he gets released because his friend was found dead in Mexico, so they consider it case closed.
Right.
The murderer is dead, so there's no one to charge.
Right. So, I think he leaves, and then like, it doesn't even say like he greets a dog, like he knows the dog.
Yeah, he like heads back to his apartment, he heads to the bar, and then
Yeah.
he like that's where he takes his messages. We never see the bar again.
Right.
Ever
Also,
again.
Yeah.
great.
Also,
great
Why did he take
subversion
his
of the
messages
bar.
there?
Also, a ham and cheese sandwich is only 25 cents.
70s, brother.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. I would
Might
go
be
for
a
a
friends and
25
family
cents.
discount.
I was actually a little bit upset that he didn't get a sandwich. I would have gotten
Yeah.
a sandwich.
I would have
The guy
gotten a
was
sandwich.
talking about the
100%.
new sandwiches, and the bartender was like a little bit excited about them. He's like, "These are pretty freaking good, dude."
He's like, I got hot sandwiches, man. And I'm like, a 25-cent hot ham and cheese. Like, that
I'll
sounds...
take it any day.
Primo.
I would take it.
Sounds.
You
chill.
just
Even
got
though
out
I
of
was
prison.
full.
You probably ate prison food.
I do hear that
I feel like he didn't eat.
he didn't eat.
I feel
3
like he just eats
days.
dude, he eats cigarettes. Like,
That's true.
all
He is
does.
just chain smoking. He's like sickly thin. Like you ever seen The Mechanist with Christian Bale?
Yeah.
He's just fucking. He's all dead. He's like 80 pounds.
It was like right before he made Batman Begins, right? He
Yeah,
went from
yeah,
like
he gained
90
like
pounds
90
to like
pounds,
200.
yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. I like the subversion of like the classic noir trope that we talked about last week with like the femme fatale singing a song in a bar. He goes in and it's like this like dumpy old guy
dude.
like singing the theme.
That was a nice guy. I like that guy.
Yeah, he was nice.
He was
and
a
he was
great
like,
guy.
"Oh, it sounds
Dumpy.
good." Yeah. He was dumpy, dude. We're expecting like a hot
Poor
woman,
guy.
and it's just like some guy in a bar with another guy who's selling 25-cent ham and cheeses.
He's
It was like a
excitable.
nice, like, it's not the classic
Also,
smoky bar.
Kind of weird that he gets his messages at the bar, right?
That's what I was saying. Like it's so weird, and they don't. I thought that was gonna be established like as his like in quotes like office, but like they
His
don't go
home base.
back. They don't go back ever.
Not once.
He's an unorthodox PI, man.
It's so strange to me though. Like usually
with it,
in
I-
a noir, like if the detective goes to his office, he like has a set office. Like
Yeah.
and it was setting it up to be that, and it just didn't end up being that at all.
Yeah.
It was a one scene done. This is just getting me from this point to my next case.
Yeah. So his next case
Very weird.
is a woman whose husband is missing.
They
name
live
is
in the same place.
Eileen? What's her name?
Yes, I think.
Eileen. Yeah, it is Eileen.
They live in
They
the
live in the
same
same place
neighborhood
as
as
Terry
Terry,
and
and
his
his wife did.
Yeah. Great running character, the fucking doorman who does all the celebrity impressions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was
He was
great.
funny. Yeah.
I felt bad for that
He
guy
had a
couple
really
of
good
times.
Jimmy Stewart. Like it was really
Great Jimmy
fucking.
He did
good.
do a really good Jimmy Stewart.
I didn't know anyone else he was doing, so I can't comment on the veracity of them, but the Jimmy Stewart was
That's
great.
true. Yeah, they seemed good
yeah.
though. He was putting like body language into everything.
Yeah.
Like did a weird limp thing at one point. Like
Yeah, with when he was trying to fuck with Harry, or when
Yeah.
Philip was trying to fuck with Harry. Yeah.
I wonder if that guy who played the guy who does impressions. I wonder if like in real life in the 70s he was like known for impressions.
I
You
feel like
know?
he had to have been, because it's such a random like trait for a C-list character to
Yeah,
have.
the director was like, "Listen, we're gonna have my buddy, and he's fucking good at impressions, dude.
he was a mean Jimmy Stewart. And he's workshopping a few others.
He's
throw those
workshopping
into
him.
it.
We're not
Yeah.
we're not a hundo, but like the Jimmy Stewart is fucking raw dogging it, dude.
Yeah.
actually,
So
yeah.
there was
it seems
go
like
on.
he would be because a lot of his. I'm
You
looking at
looked
the
it
guy.
up? I was leaving it
He-
up to spurious knowledge, dude.
He apparently voiced Rabbit and Winnie the Pooh
Hmm?
a bunch,
Okay.
including in Kingdom Hearts. I think it said. Did it
What's
just
his
say?
name?
That character is known for impressions.
Ken Sampson. He's listed in here as
All right. Well, cool.
Colony
Anyway,
Guard.
So at this point, I think I noticed it at the bar,
Yeah.
but in a lot of internal shots, it might have even been inside Eileen's house. Is her name Eileen? Am I fucking that
it
up?
is Eileen. I
It is,
just
right?
wrote
Yes.
him down. Yeah.
Eileen Wade. All right, cool. There's like a really great like hazy filter on the camera that actually reminded me of like a lot of Black Lagoon. You know, remember how I talked about how like a lot of the exterior shots, especially in Black Lagoon, kind of have like a haze, and I didn't like them in that context. I do like them in this context.
All right.
So super hypocritical, obviously, but
Yeah, what
Damn.
the fuck, brother.
I think it.
I
lends
get it.
itself
You
to
didn't
the
like
energy of
Black
this movie.
Lagoon. I'm sorry for bringing it up. No, I'm just kidding.
I enjoyed myself with Black Lagoon.
So he gets to Mrs. Wade's house after talking to the guard.
She's got the meanest fucking dog in the world.
Bro, first of all, the meanest
If
dog,
someone
but also
had that
the
dog,
dopest
dude.
house. That's the sweetest fucking house. Like,
It's
the
a cool
houses in
house.
this movie are awesome.
It has like a tree inside of it.
Great greenery. The house is so green on the inside.
It's very modern too, with a lot of windows.
Yeah, and it's got like an insane like view out onto the beach in the reading room.
Private beach,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, private beach. Like, come on.
They have a mother-in-law suite-ish, kind of, like where
Yeah,
the
something.
dude stays.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about how it was kind of weird, the entrance into this whole like community with all like the maid and the butler and stuff outside sweeping, and yet whenever he went into this house, like, yeah, it's a dope house, but it doesn't seem like the kind of house that would be in a place where the houses have maids and butlers. You know what I mean?
Doesn't it though?
You don't
It's a
think so?
pretty
It would
sweet
be
house.
expensive as fuck to live there.
Yeah,
I guess.
feel like it's
I don't
a
know.
really
That's
dope
just-
On a
house.
private beach in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I think
it's-
it's just like it's a facet of the fact that it's lived in by like a legendarily drunk author, that it's kind of like a little shabby inside, you know, but like it's
Yeah.
not. I still think it's an incredible place.
Yeah,
The
he
running
gave me
bit-
an Ernest Hemingway vibe.
Yeah, I wrote that down. He has to be based on Hemingway.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that he's not.
Big beard, drunk, living on the beach,
Yeah.
presumably writing about beach stuff.
Yeah,
He
and
reminds me of
also
the Gordon
dresses just
Fisherman.
like Hemingway. Who's Gordon Fisherman?
The fish sticks guy. Trust the Gordon's fisherman. No? Like you
That
see the
was
commercials?
great. I love that.
Oh, come on. The
I
Gordon's
hope Abby
Fisherman.
uses that sound clip for Instagram. This
You gotta
episode
look
is
it up.
not sponsored by Fish Sticks.
Gordon's fish.
Dude, fuck fish sticks. I have a very formative childhood memory of the worst part of The Lion King, and I ate spoiled fish sticks like right at
Ugh.
the time where the hyenas come on screen, and I
Fuck.
never had fish sticks ever again. It was
You were
fucking-
crying and vomiting.
Yeah, it's like so gross.
Yeah, I'm not a big
fuck-
fish stick person. We never really had them in the house as a kid. That we
I
were
mean,
not
not
me
good,
either.
no.
We never really had them, but I just remember
We
seeing
did,
the
'cause my mom-
commercials.
My mom liked us to be healthy. We had like no sweets.
Are
no
fish
good
sticks
shit.
super healthy? Aren't they fried?
I mean, I think as healthy as fried oven food can get. Maybe, I don't know. They're healthier than
better
fucking
for you than
burgers.
chicken nuggies?
I mean, isn't fish better than chicken
I don't know.
by default?
You think so?
Don't know. I'm not a nutritionist. Yeah, that dude's definitely based on Ernest Hemingway. Trevor just sent us a picture of whoever he's talking about in the
The
Discord.
Gordon's
chat. And,
Fisherman.
all right,
How do you?
cool.
Come on.
That dude is. That's just like a classic.
That's a great picture.
fisherman. He looks like Hemingway. Yeah, big beard.
Anyways.
yellow raincoat.
That's what I
but
thought.
We didn't talk about the vicious dog at all. You guys really
no,
skipped over.
I,
that.
No,
I,
sorry.
I kept trying to go
Fucking
back
mean.
to it. That was my next note. The running gag with him and the dog is like my favorite thing.
It's a good
in the
bit.
film.
And with
It's a great
Robert, right? That's his name, Robert.
Roger.
Wade? Roger Wade. The
Just-
dog doesn't like him either.
No, hates him, and he just screams at him the whole time and like bangs on the window.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
like this is also that time period where, because was it back then, pit bulls weren't the ones that got the bad rap. It was Dobermans
Dobermans?
and
Yeah.
Rottweilers.
Yeah, I got
It-
attacked by a pack of Dobermans as a kid in California. So
Oh fuck!
yeah.
Really?
That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
hated dogs for a long time.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I am a
I know.
cat guy, so
I've come around. I love dogs
Okay.
and cats. But
Yeah, I'm a
it
dog
reminds
guy.
me of those memes where it's like, oh, it don't bite, and then it's just like screaming and jumping at people.
Yes, it do.
yeah, fuck that.
That's a great vine.
It's so good.
So Eileen has reached out because her husband is missing. She explains he's a notorious drunk and he does tend to go missing during
She's got a
benders.
beat up face,
She has a beat up face, yeah.
which she
Yeah.
says because she fell out of the bed, right? That's what she said.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, or like, and he like
In-
Marlo
you
says
know.
something about like walking into a door or something like that. Like,
Yeah. And that's where she corrects him to something also ridiculous.
Yeah.
So he goes looking for him, Roger Wade. He's like an author. She says he does this frequently, but he's not usually gone as long as he's been gone. Is that what it was?
Yeah, he always does it when he
Also-
wants to sober up, basically.
Also, he's not at his usual places.
That's
There
what she
you go.
says. But he
Okay.
does
Yeah.
go to the usual place, right?
I don't know.
But these people are just real. These people are the sketchiest motherfuckers. So he goes to a rehab center that's seemingly like down the street. It's like in the same complex.
Something, it's like
by.
Dr. V,
it's very
Dr.
close.
V. Yeah, because what's his name? Roger has a bunch of notes saying, Dr. V, please help me, Dr. V.
His name's Dr. Veringer. This guy
which is also
a
that
little
actor
bastard.
I recognized from something else, and I couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah, he's the minister from Wedding Crashers. He's like
Oh.
the pastor. He's like the old that they drink with. He's like quiet the entire movie, and at the end of Wedding Crashers, like one of the main two guys has a drink with him.
I didn't
I don't
see it, but
remember that. I
I
don't
looking
remember
at his
that at all.
photo again. I totally remember.
I have
he's
seen
the,
Wedding Crashers, but I don't remember that.
He's the
Yes.
grandpa in the Disney movie Luck of the Irish.
There you go. So he's a
Do you guys
classic
remember
Irish
that?
guy.
Did you ever watch
Never
that?
seen it.
Never.
It's about leprechauns, but he's a leprechaun. He's-
You don't say.
With a name like Luck of the Irish.
He looks like a fucking leprechaun. His
does.
his introduction of him like prancing through the fucking backyard of this hospital.
Yeah,
Like
dude's like 5'1".
so weird. Yeah, he's tiny.
Sorry.
Yeah, so kind of a weird energy at that hospital or whatever.
Yeah, the
it
moment
is,
he shows
clinic.
up and he asks them, "Hey, do you guys know where Roger is? Roger Wade?" And they're like, "We've never heard of that person ever before."
And he shows a picture because he has a book with his picture on the back of it, and they don't even look at it. They just say that person isn't here.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's so sketchy. Those nurses are so fucked up. They remind me of just like the like disturbed nurses from like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I guess maybe not as evil, but definitely
just-
sketchy.
Yeah, they're so weird, and they're so obvious about the fact that they don't know who or where he is. Like, we've never had him here before. It's like,
Yeah.
you literally could have said almost anything else, and he's like, "Where's Dr. V or Dr. Veringer?" And they're like, "Oh, he's not here." As
Yeah,
he's
they're
literally
like he's out for like the week or whatever.
yeah, and he's literally standing right there.
He is, yeah. It ends up being the guy that's right there. But
I love
yeah,
that.
So he leaves after I think they ask who he is, and he just says, "I'm a guy looking for Roger," or something along those lines. He doesn't tell him who he is, but he bounces and goes back out the front door, and he goes like around to sneak into the back of this complex. To
And
try
then
to look
Veringer
for Roger on
immediately-
his own.
Yeah, and then Veringer immediately runs out and looks at his car, and is
Yeah,
like,
that
"Oh,
was
he's not
weird.
in the." Yeah, it's like he's not in the car, and the nurses come out with him for a minute, and then he shoos the nurses back inside, and starts very obviously following him. Just like
He does, yeah.
so obvious.
I think it's another one of those things with Marlowe where he's like how he was with the cops, where he's just like he doesn't care. Like he's just trying to do his like thing, and just eventually he's gonna have to notice these people directly next to him, but it's not
Yeah.
gonna be right now.
Like, he doesn't care, and I think he knows that his not caring is going to give him more information than if he did.
More information and more time.
Yeah.
You know?
So, like, yeah, he's walking around, and then he's just trying to ask people, and everyone shushes him. Did you
Yeah,
notice that? Every
I did.
single person he talked to shushed him.
Well, the nurses were like very hands-on and like weird with the guests. That's like another thing where it's like kind of disturbing. Like one of the male nurses that like is walking with someone has like his hand like in the person's pants from the back to like keep them close.
Yeah,
It's,
but like
it was like really fucking weird. It's like
it was weird,
was
but it
so
wasn't
disturbing.
like it was more like he just had a hand, like he had he was gripping his waistband, so he like had a hold on him.
Yeah,
So I guess
but,
this
like, what
guy
the
couldn't run
fuck?
away.
Exactly. Like that's because like
But
then
also-
we see later on when he comes back to this place at nighttime, we see him with Roger Wade with Dr. Veringer talking about how Roger needs to write him a check, and it's
Yeah.
just like more of this like really fucked up like stuff where like this rehab center is like controlling people so much like in a scary way. You
Oh yeah,
know?
Veringer is crooked as hell.
Yeah.
He is so crooked. Like,
He also doesn't end up mattering that much in the story. He comes
He
back
doesn't.
later on, but like it doesn't matter.
I mean, when he comes
it, like,
back,
I guess it like makes Roger snap or some shit later, but like
I have my theory, yeah, about what his like importance is in the story. But overall, once he comes back the second time in the story, or the third time, I guess, we don't. He disappears forever, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's super weird, but yeah. Then
Behringer's a
finally,
crazy little
Behringer
bastard.
catches up with him and is like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just looking for." Or I take it you're not Dr. Behringer, right? And then the people immediately go, "Hello, Dr. Behringer."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking got him.
Just immediately rat him out, which was fantastic.
Yeah, but then he leaves, and then he comes back later, like we were saying, and then grabs Roger before he's able to sign the check, and brings Roger back to his house. Roger is such a drunk bastard.
Yeah. Also,
He's
before like he even goes and
even when
gets
he's
her,
sober, he's drunk.
Yeah.
for sure. But even before he goes and gets him, he goes back to the wife and is like, "Hey, I found him. He's at this place." And she's like, "Oh, can you bring him back?" And he's like, "Shouldn't you come? Like, you're his wife."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, he's more fine with strangers than he is with me." And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, their marriage sucks.
I mean,
Their
she's
marriage
also
is awful.
she's just trying to keep Marlowe off the trail of the Lennox case at this point, right? Like, is that not what her entire game plan is?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, her whole thing, like, we find out a lot more of it later, is basically just, like, throwing him off the scent with, like, different things that she's giving him.
Yeah.
Like, even
Yeah.
towards the end where, like, she's saying, like, Roger had something to do with it. It's just, like, stuff to, like, throw him off, you know?
Right.
True. Yeah, even like in this conversation, he's talking to her, like before he goes and gets him, I think he brings up Terry again, and she says something, probably to be like, we kind of knew them, because my note down at that point was she totally was friends with them or something.
Yeah, well, she slips up at one point, right? Like, she says, like, you, like, our friend or my friend Terry, and then he's like, wait, what? And she's like, I mean, your friend Terry?
Yeah.
Like, she indicates early on that she knows the Lennox family, and she tries to play it off like she doesn't, but she fucks up. So, like, you have that classic, and again, I think it's a trope of most noir, like the unreliable female, who's like kind of posed as a femme fatale character, but oftentimes turns out not to be, as much smarter than they let on, or is involved.
She is a bit of a femme fatale in this, but not for
the same reasons as usual.
Yeah, and also not really for Philip. She's, I guess,
more for Roger,
yeah.
right? Or like
more for Roger in a way.
In a way, yeah. But yeah, I think I like Roger a lot. He's not a super fleshed out character, but he's incredibly menacing. Like, he's such
an asshole.
He's such an asshole.
He's such an asshole.
He's so
and also,
physically imposing.
Oh, very. He's very intimidating. He looks dope. He looks like he would be on like an old fishing boat.
Yeah.
Like giving you sage wisdom. But the sage wisdom is more like, stop being a pussy, go punch that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got huge Hemingway energy. Speaking as someone who both enjoys Hemingway as an author and worked for the Hemingway family for a short period of time, running a social media page, like, a lot of the stuff that he does and a lot of the way he talks is like super ingrained in Hemingway, which is interesting. I don't really know why. It doesn't really serve a greater purpose, it doesn't seem like. I mean,
no, it's just his character, I guess.
Yeah. But it's dope, and he's a scary motherfucker. I would not want to fuck with him. Also, have you seen him, like, a picture of it? Like, look at his IMDb picture. Like, that dude, he looks crazy. He's in Doctor Strangelove, apparently, which I didn't know. He's been in a bunch of really big movies.
I mean,
his name is Sterling Hayden.
Yeah, his main profile photo looks almost nothing like what he looks like in this movie.
No, nothing at all, which is really interesting. I guess, like, this was more towards the end of his career, but he was in the fucking Godfather.
Yeah.
He was in, Doctor Strangelove. I don't remember him in, but yeah, I don't know. He's great. He's great. He's a scary man. He's a very big and imposing man. And
For sure.
He's really good at this role. So after he gets Roger home,
yeah, with
he
this
goes
weird
back to
mind
his
control
apartment.
thing almost going on with Dr. V.
Yeah, well, they come back to that at the party, right? Like,
exactly.
I think So he goes. So Marlowe goes back to his apartment, right? And it's like almost as if he's about to rest, I think. But then the gangster comes. Do I have the timing right on that?
Yeah.
Marty Augustine.
My next note is that some thugs come and rough him up.
Yeah.
And poor Joanne.
Dude, Marty Augustine is fucking crazy.
Like my thought when Joanne,
Oh,
like
is that the
whenever they're-
lady who gets bottled?
yeah, even like when we first see her, even in the car, my first thought was she is somehow gonna end up with these hippie women upstairs. Like she's gonna come up and then they're gonna talk to her for a minute and she is gonna end up leaving this gangster guy
Nope.
and hanging out with the hippie. That doesn't happen, obviously, but that was my
Yeah.
thought. I was like, oh, that's gonna be cool.
Very
And
much
then-
not the case.
No.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of thugs at Milo's apartment. It turns out to be this guy Marty Augustine, who we've heard about throughout the film, kind of peripherally. Like Terry Lennox used to
Yeah.
run with Marty Augustine, and Marlo, I think, has maybe done work for Marty Augustine in the past, or is like kind of a tangential relationship to him. But they're waiting downstairs for him, and they bring him up to the apartment because, like, I remember,
Yes.
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So
They're
they're
by-
waiting.
They
they're
don't
by
know
their
which
car.
apartment's his.
Yeah.
They just know he lives in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they're like, oh shit, you got the penthouse.
Yeah, so they
And
all
then
go
they're, like,
upstairs.
Ogling the titty women.
Yeah, for
Um,
lack of a better term.
They are fucking up his apartment too when they're looking for the cash.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
he's
why-
like, whoa! Like the guy immediately just knocks down a lamp. He just shoves it right down. The guy's like, what? He's like,
the
what
cash
fuck?
is definitely not in the lamp. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
I
And then Augustine's like, all right, guys, go easy. What's going on?
yeah, the tonal shifts in this film, and I know I mentioned it a lot in Parasite, probably too much because we were drunk, and it was our first
times.
episode. But yeah, good times. But I
Shout
think
out to when we could hang out in person. Feels bad,
yeah,
man.
fucking
Yeah.
right, dude. What was that, like 3 months ago now? 2 months? How long has it been?
Too long.
2.5
It wasn't
months?
3 months. It was March. It was like 2 months. It was actually probably like 2 months ago today, honestly.
That's fucked. So the tonal shift, like I like how this movie can turn on a dime from like admittedly pretty dry humor, but humor nonetheless, to like this scene is like really vicious. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
like that.
Augustine
like,
drinks his last sip of Coke.
yeah, and then just well,
Also-
Joanne comes up to the apartment, right? She's told to wait in the car, but she like got bored or whatever the fuck, so she
No,
comes
she
up.
said she got
scared.
scared. Yeah.
Oh, she heard a noise, yeah. And he like jokes it. He's like, oh, it's probably just like a dog, like a street dog. So she comes up and he's
I
like,
mean,
very
I feel her.
welcoming.
Like, she's alone by herself in the back of a car
Yeah.
in, like, a sketchy part of L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she comes up and they were being very menacing, and then he like kind of softens up Marty and brings her in and sits her down and asks her if she wants a drink and yada yada.
Talks about
And
how he
then-
loves her and shit.
Right, like all this nice stuff, and then she asks for a Coke. There's a bottle of Coke in the fridge, but it's mostly been consumed.
Yeah,
Marty
who leaves
finishes
a
it.
glass bottle of Coke with literally, like, maybe
Like a
one,
sip.
maybe a
Dude,
sip left?
Marlo, man, he's feeding his cat.
He's like, I
cottage
can't
cheese and
finish
raw
it.
Egg. Yeah, come on, I'm saving this shit for the cat.
Put this Coke back
For
in
the
the
cat.
fridge. It'll be fine. It's flat. It's ugh.
So Marty finishes it and then just like breaks the bottle across Joanne's face. And like,
He's like, I do this to someone I love.
And
Yeah.
like,
What
do you
she's,
think
like,
I'll do to
very
you?
bloody, and she's screaming, and it's like pretty horrific. Honestly, I forgot
is
how
fucked
violent
up.
it is.
I don't think that bottle would break.
Those are hard bottles.
Those were hefty bottles back in the day, man.
Even now, they're thick bottles.
I love
I
how
don't
Trevor
think it
has
would've-
this reputation of like the realism police for the movies and TV shows that we watch. It's like, nah, it's
He
too
always
many
is.
gunshots, too
But
many
I'm with them
gunshots.
on this one. Like, that would take an
Yeah, I
incredible amount of force to break.
He's a
down
little
someone's face.
guy too. Like he's not very big.
No.
But yeah, so he smashes this Coke bottle on Joanne's face, and she's horrifically bloodied up and
Yeah,
screaming.
it reminds me of like 70s horror. It's like
Yeah.
it's like
It's
that
gruesome,
much like
dude.
blood and like out of nowhere and fucked up. It's like
It
it was
was
like,
like-
whoa, am I
it's
watching
really
like
shocking.
fucking Friday the 13th right now?
Yeah, it's really shocking. And even on my third watch, it was like very affecting to me. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like this guy just doesn't fuck around, obviously. And then, it does what it's supposed to do in terms of setting the tone for who this guy is. And then, like Trevor mentioned, he's I did this to someone I love, and you're not even someone I like, I think is his line, right? As he leaves.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, every time we see this guy, he's like on the edge of like maiming Marlo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
says,
like almost there.
he says, that's someone I love, and you I don't even like. I think that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way it is.
Which I understand the process behind it, but also,
Yes,
what?
Like, no.
What are you
Like,
thinking,
this is how
dude?
crazy I am.
It's a
I'll
bizarre
name this innocent
demonstration.
woman. Yeah, it's very strange. But then they leave, right, on that note. They get her, he's like, get her out of here.
Yeah, and he has his boy supposed to be watching him. What's his name? Fucking Harry. Harry's
Harry.
supposed to be watching
But
Marlo.
but Marlo does,
is so smooth in getting out of there, though.
dude, he does the classic noir, go out a different entrance to follow them.
Sprint down.
Just like Joseph Gordon-Levitt did in Brick when he leaves the party and runs out the back.
Shout
I
out.
have, I have a big all caps note. There's that run out a different entrance to track the baddie move. Shout out Brick. That was like my
shout out
Brick.
thing, right? So again, classic noir move. So then
This
He
is also
does-
a noir only podcast. I will say that, guys.
Yeah.
So if you're listening out there, get ready for more noir.
yeah, I couldn't not. I mean, I didn't want to bring another album.
Yeah.
I
We'll
was,
move-
like,
we'll move away
inspired by
from it.
Brick. No,
My next one's totally a noir film.
I gotta start thinking of some other more varied things.
No, dude, I couldn't not. We've done some theme-ish episodes. We did 2 Black Lagoons. We did 2 Hitchcocks. I think it's fair to do 2 noir. Like,
That's true. We do run in pairs.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to copy whatever Trevor does next.
So
So he follows him back to Roger's
so he runs
house.
out the
They
back.
live in the same
Yeah,
development.
So it turns out that they're going to Roger's house, and then Marty has like, it's not really a heated discussion, but it seems very serious discussion with Eileen.
Yes.
And Elliot Gould is like very slick in this whole thing, or Philip Marlowe is very slick in this whole maneuver. He only manages to get to the house because Joanne, who again is left alone in the car at this point, though she's obviously, her face is bloodied up, she's
She's
gets
still
out
screaming.
of the car
She
and
tries to
starts to
escape,
run,
essentially.
blindly run down the street, screaming at the top of her lungs.
She almost gets hit by a car.
Almost gets hit by a car. The 2 guys who are left to watch the door into the house run after her, at which point Marlowe sneaks in, watches through a bush. Some kind of conversation is had. So at this point, we now know that there's some connection between everyone, right?
Mhm.
Like, because Augustine was at Marlowe's apartment because he thinks that Marlowe has Terry Lennox's money.
Yes.
Thinks that he has Terry Lennox's money, so now we know there's a connection between Augustine, Lennox, and now the Wade family because they go to Eileen's house. So something's
It looks
right?
like he threatens her dog, too, in that conversation. Did you notice
Really?
that?
No, I didn't. I know he's like doing a lot
The
of
dog was
pointing.
mean.
It
Dog
looked
is
like
mean.
towards the end, it looked like he pointed at the dog and like was threatening her,
Really?
like, if you don't pay up or something, the dog's gonna get it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
That was just my
dog.
I mean,
That
John Wick,
Doberman's
right?
done. He's Dober done.
Doberman. That's horrible. That did not need to be said
no,
twice.
no.
So
So we cut
cut
to
that.
we cut to the next morning, and Marlowe's leaving the apartment like he never left, and comes down and he has that's just where he talks to Harry. Like, he's like, Harry, I'm proud to have you following me.
Here's my address in
here's
case you
the
get lost in
address.
traffic.
Yeah, like, gives him the address. Here's where I'm going. He doesn't want Harry to get in trouble. Harry's a nice guy. He means well.
Yeah.
Harry's classic. He's in
He's
training.
also- he's in training. Yeah, he's baddie in training.
Yeah.
So he goes to
Batty.
the Wade
He's dummy thick.
He goes to the Wade house, and when he gets there, Harry gets out immediately, and he's like, no, Harry, you gotta I can't see you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not supposed to see you.
And
Like,
he goes
get back, go back and wait in the car quietly, and
Then
then
he tries to jump the door and just hangs.
he
on the
opens
door.
it.
Yeah, he's hanging on.
Great little bits. And then you also have another reappearance of the impressionist guard.
yes.
Marlowe tells him, "There's a guy coming in behind me. He is a huge fan of some celebrity I never heard of."
Yeah, some guy. I was like, what the fuck?
And so the guy goes, "Oh, really, really?" and does this like ridiculous impression. And Harry's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And
Is
then
that the last time we see him?
the guard? Yeah, I think so.
Oh no, we see him when they're like, "Did you see that guy blow by?" Right? That's after this.
No, that was before this.
That was before this.
That was the
Oh,
night
shit.
before.
Maybe this is the last
Yeah.
time then.
Yeah,
Damn,
it is.
rip.
I think it is. Yeah, because he doesn't ever mention the fact that.
Well, he's got no
Marlowe
more
fucked
impressions
with
that he
him.
can do.
Yeah, just
He
had
ran
those
out of
three.
impressions.
He ran out.
Got
Those
those
are
3. Those are the two he's workshopping, and he's an expert, Jimmy Stewart.
This is where we
Alright,
find out that the
so-
wife, Eileen, wants to leave her husband because he's a fucking drunk.
Right.
I guess we kind of already had hinted at that, but that's where, like, she'd really just kind of said it because they start having conversations with each other, and she's like, I'm gonna fucking leave you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super weird. Like Philip shows up, and then Roger's like, "Could you go wait like on the beach? I have to
Yeah.
have a conversation with my wife."
I thought he was
It's
gonna
like-
kill her.
What the
Really?
hell?
Yeah.
Like, it was just so weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah,
He's just
and
like a
then-
scary
and then-
dude.
Marlo, like, wants to leave, and the wife is like, no, please stay. So, like, I
Yeah.
can kind of see where you're at, where she was, like, maybe holding him there for protection.
Yeah.
Like, just so he's near.
It was
But
I
bad
could see
vibes.
that.
Bad
it's
energy.
it's a fucked up situation. Dope
Yeah.
house.
It's so messed up.
Great house. So then Marlo goes
Roger
outside.
drinks at fucking early as hell.
Yeah, Roger and I had that conversation about, whatever. It's like a classic, like, alcoholic apologizing to his, like, distressed partner about, I'm sorry, I do these things, yada, yada, yada. Then there's, like, the end, it looks like he's about to hit her, but he doesn't. He calls Marlo back in, and then I think Eileen leaves, right? And then he and Marlo sit down and have that, like, drink talk.
She leaves with the pup, and we see her leave,
Also-
like, as they're, like, calling to her again, and she just doesn't turn around, and they just
Yeah.
start drinking.
Yeah.
What is up with their outfits, by the way?
What do you mean they're dope?
She's got that like long weird dress with the hat and
It's
the
a beach
whole
dress.
nine.
That's a beach outfit.
Yeah, what are you talking about? It's nice.
I don't know. I just felt like both her and Roger's outfits were kind of out there and crazy.
Well, Roger's
but-
dressed like Hemingway.
yeah.
Like, to a T. Hemingway always wore khakis and a white shirt with, like, a little rope belt.
I feel like that's just classic beach. That's
Yeah.
beach formal.
And Eileen is just, she's beach formal. So they sit down and have a long talk. I don't really recall the contents of that talk that Marlo and Roger have.
Yeah,
But
I didn't
time-
write anything down about that. My next note is that he gets a $5,000 bill in the mail.
Yeah, same. I actually skipped
I
that
had
whole
no idea
conversation,
that
too.
was a thing
Yeah.
It was, but the reason they stopped using them was it was too
because
easy
it's ridiculous.
No, it was too easy to smuggle money for
Oh.
drugs and stuff, like across borders, with such big like 5K in like $100 bills is a big chunk of cash. So it's hard to get that like something like that across the border. Where like a 5K bill, tuck that in your wallet. That's a lot
Yeah.
of money.
Between a couple ones.
Yeah, put that in your sock. Easy go.
Exactly. Like that's easy to smuggle, whereas like the small denominations make it really hard to smuggle large amounts of cash.
Yeah, that's
So
why
we-
they got rid of $2 bills.
They did not. $2 bills are still a thing. You can still
so
get them.
So the next scene, what was it again, Will?
It's the party at the house, right, at this point? Is there
Yeah,
anything
I'll call
between...
it that. Oh no, they
Also-
goes to Mexico next. He goes to Mexico.
Does he know who sent him the $5,000 bill?
Yeah, Terry, he
Yeah,
signed
it
it.
writes. He signed it. He wrote a little letter.
I missed that.
I'm sorry,
He's
Terry.
like, "Ya boy, Terry."
Oh, shit. So that's why he knows he's not dead.
Yeah, and there's like a long take of like two dogs banging when he gets to Mexico that
So
like holds
strange.
for like way too long,
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
long
I
zoom.
forgot.
disturbingly too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
So he goes to Mexico to investigate the death and to talk to the cops about who, I guess, were at
Did the
precinct where he
investigation.
died. Yeah, where Terry supposedly
He wants
died.
more info, basically. Yeah, and we
Yeah.
also get the long funeral procession take, which
With the
you
long
guys
goodbye.
were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
That take also takes way too long, though. I don't understand why they're holding on these shots like
It's just the
longer.
70s.
But it's like it's so weird though, because like it doesn't really happen anywhere else in the movie. It's like only this part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like a little
Maybe
bit
they were
strange.
on location and they wanted to make it count.
Maybe it does seem like all the Mexico stuff lasts longer.
Yeah.
Or not lasting longer time length, but like
But there's
they
long
hold on
shots.
shots more than they
Yeah.
do in LA. When LA they're like doing a normal movie where they're like jumping around
Yeah.
shots, and here
True.
they're just like, all right, this is where we're at. We're zooming.
We're zooming, dude. We're showing in this fucking countryside.
So yeah, after he goes and talks to the coroner and that one police detective, which I guess they were the only two that ever did anything with this case, apparently.
Yeah.
Those guys are
Great
great.
cop car.
I like.
They
them.
are
Great
great
cop car.
characters. We immediately then go back to a party happening.
Yeah. So it's a party at the Wade house. They're singing the long goodbye. It's lots of hippies.
It seems like a
drinking.
great party.
It
Yeah.
does. It's
Bang,
so
like,
weird though.
Before
as so that
all the
everyone,
fucked up shit that happens, this party
Yeah.
would have been a good time.
Hell
It was a good time up until that stuff started happening. But it's so weird. Everyone was having such a great time, and then immediately just shuts up the moment one thing happens.
Well, I mean, they
Well,
slapped
it's
the
drama.
fuck
It's a
out of
huge
Roger.
drama.
I
I mean, to be fair, he called everyone over to do a cheers, and then the fucking doctor shows up.
It makes
He
a
starts
scene.
mocking the doctor, and then the doctor slaps Roger in the face. And
The
then
doctor
this
does
is-
want to do it in private, though.
Yeah, he does. But
And
it
Roger's
transpires.
drunk as fuck. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Everybody can stay.
Yeah, and so
And
he
gets
gets slapped in the
fucking bitch
face.
slapped.
And I guess that's like another thing about the hypnosis, because he like gets all weird and like stuttery and whatever the fuck, you know. So it's like clearly the doctor
I
has
think
some
the
control
doctor-
over him.
The doctor definitely like hypnotized him or something into also, I guess, minor spoiler for an upcoming scene, killing himself a little bit later.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's the next scene, so like, it's not
Yeah.
even really.
yeah. So
Kinda-
basically, the doctor slaps him. He like snaps out of being drunk, but like also snaps into like a stupor almost.
Yeah.
He starts like walking in circles and like rubbing his head, and
He falls asleep right after he signs the
yeah,
check.
he goes and signs
and
the
kicks
check,
everyone
and
out.
Everyone has to go home. Marlo stays for dinner with Eileen.
Yeah.
Roger's asleep on the porch.
It's like a full fucking feast too.
Yeah,
Can we
she
say
cooks
that?
like a fat meal. And
like
then
Marlo,
it's-
he talks about it too. He's like, whoa, this is like the best I've eaten in like months.
Yeah.
so
Probably
it's,
because
like,
he didn't
all-
eat for the 3 days he was in prison, according
And
to
he
Jacob.
only eats raw eggs and
cigarettes.
and fucking cigs.
Cottage cheese.
Yeah, dip that raw egg in that cottage cheese. So they have like it's a pretty pleasant like scene, and then all of a sudden he starts like needling her about Terry Lennox and Terry's wife, and he's like
Yeah, he
asking
starts
her
really going
questions.
hard at this point.
Yeah, because
He
I think
does.
he knows at that point like what's going on because Terry's still alive. I don't think he lets
Well,
that on, but he knows. At
I
that
don't think
point.
I don't think he's sure that Terry's alive even at this point.
No,
What do you
but he
mean? He
knows
just
that.
sent him the thing.
He got the letter, but that letter could have been sent before he died.
I guess that's true. All this does happen in like not
It's
that
very
long of a time
yeah,
span.
It's
so
pretty quick.
That's
He,
true.
yeah. So
Anyway, he's suspicious. He's classic PI.
oh, I'm sure he's suspicious, but
he starts
crazy.
he starts asking her much more pointed questions than he's been asking up until this point.
Super upfront.
And then that all of a sudden you see in the background, like through the window where they are, like Roger getting up and like walking down the beach like towards the ocean, and then
In the ocean.
in the ocean, and then she
Really
notices
crazy waves.
yeah,
Classic
it's like
Pacific.
a crazy storm. So then I love this shot. I know Cobb, you mentioned it was kind of a weird one, but like the whole scene of them running down to the beach after him as he's like drifting further and further out to sea, and all you hear is the waves crashing and them like crying
Yeah.
and screaming.
Yeah, his
Well, I mean,
run.
I feel like
Philip's
I only
run
say
was
that because
weird,
it
right?
seems it seems like super real, you know. It's cause
Yeah.
it's like they don't. I don't know. They don't do any stuff that you normally see like in a cinematic medium where like they
No.
like cut around or like go into the water or anything or like have
Yeah.
like good sound. It's like kind of like trash quality sound, but it's really raw waves.
Yeah.
And it's just people struggling in the water, like
Yeah.
It emphasizes
just
that
struggling.
like
They clearly were not trained as like really good swimmers or anything. They were
No.
just like normal people struggling to save someone.
Yeah, I think
it's emphasizing almost like we're looking in on this, like we're voyeurs on this whole thing that's happening. We're not supposed
Right.
to be there.
Definitely, yeah.
I think it's super similar
like-
to the Coke bottle scene where it's like, whoa, like this is harrowing, like this is a scary moment. And
I don't get why
obviously-
Philip. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, you go. You were in the middle.
Like we mentioned, we obviously have that little moment of levity where he's like, "Take my tie," and like gives it to her. But like the rest of it is pretty horrifying. And
Yeah.
I mean, can you even imagine something like that happening? Like watching someone
Absolutely
like
not.
drown themselves and then
Yeah.
you can't do anything about it because like the waves are too crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, but
it's-
also
it's fucked
Philip,
up.
I felt like kept turning around and going back. Like, did you
I think
notice
he was
that?
trying to fight the waves. Like sometimes you can't.
But
You
like,
gotta
why
go
did
with
you
your
turn
back straight.
around?
He also might have been concerned about Eileen also getting drowned.
I guess, but like, I don't know. I just sometimes it felt like they almost were like, okay, you're getting too close to him. You need to like go back a little bit, so it seems like you can't make it to save him.
Yeah.
or whatever.
I feel like if that would have been the case, though, they would have cut like to a different angle.
Maybe,
or something.
but like I just thought it was weird that he kept turning around and like he would walk back a little bit towards Eileen and then go back out again, and it's like,
I feel
why are
you,
you
though, yeah.
why are you doing that? That's like, okay, sure, maybe the waves are bad or something, but it just
Yeah, I
felt
mean, he
weird
could have
to
been
me.
scared, you know?
And his run down the beach was ridiculous.
Hilarious.
He's
Yeah,
fast,
it's hilarious.
Just like, oh my god.
So that's like a pretty lengthy scene.
Very.
It lasts for a
And
little
then
bit, yeah.
the final shot before the authorities arrive is the dog with the cane, which is
Yeah,
like
that's
super
fucked up.
fucking haunting.
Great scene.
Yeah, like crazy shot.
Great shot.
Even when the police are there, the dog's just running up and down the beach.
Yeah, with
He's
the
a good
cane.
boy. He's a
Yeah.
good boy. He fetched the stick.
That's
He's
super
not a good
sad.
boy. He's a bad pup.
No, good boy. He fetched stick.
All right.
So they're on the beach and they're talking to the police and to the medics or whatever, and someone for some reason is passing around a bottle of alcohol, and like Marlo, it's like the only time
Marlo's
you see
drunk.
him drunk. Yeah,
Marlo
he's like
was
very drunk.
so drunk.
I was
And
actually
that-
kind of I caught me off guard. I was like, why is he so loaded? He's
Yeah.
like so fucking drunk.
Well, I mean, it seemed like the alcohol was there because everyone was freezing, and they had to be on the beach to talk to the cops. So someone brought liquor out to warm people up, but
Wouldn't you
clearly he
bring
was just
coffee?
like he was just hitting the sauce. Takes too long to make coffee, and also
It doesn't take that
Roger
long.
Roger Wade probably not a coffee guy. Like he was drinking liquor at 7 a.m. until he went to
Or-
bed.
Go inside.
I feel
Anyway.
like
The liquor was there
Yeah.
for some reason.
the liquor
and-
was there.
Because they watched someone die.
And Marlo does
So-
say, like, what are you doing with this liquor? Like, he yells at a girl at one point because Eileen is drunk. But, like, then you realize, like, Marlo is sauced. And he...
Completely. I bet he drove
he,
home
like,
too.
He loses it
He
on
probably did.
the cop who arrested him originally, right? He's, like, screaming at them. He's
yeah.
like, my fucking friend is dead and you guys don't do shit. Like, you've done nothing. And he's
And
like...
she's gonna testify that Roger definitely was over there, and he's
Yeah.
like, we know.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
know he was there, and we know when he left. He had no way of killing her or something like that.
Because this is also where
insane.
like Eileen starts talking about how she thinks that Roger had an affair with what's her name, Sylvia, Terry's
Yeah.
wife,
Yeah.
and like that whole like little scenario that didn't end up being true.
Right. So it's another wrinkle in
Fake.
the story. But yeah, Marlo again, like Elliot Gould was really good in that scene. Like just like he was when he sees the picture in the courtroom or like the interrogation room early in the film, like he's like really heartbreaking in that moment too, because his friend is dead, or so he thinks at that point, I guess. Trevor,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
All right, so then we get another Marty
the next
Augustine
stuff-
scene, right?
Yeah, Marty Augustine. This part is crazy.
How about this
Also-
cameo, dude?
Arnold Schwarzenegger
Friggin' Arnie, man,
in
like,
some
that was
yellow
crazy.
fucking undies, like
Dude,
disgustingly
such-
yellow undies.
Such a great cameo. Like that dude
And they're
is
like-
so fucking enormous.
Dude's jacked because this is like
He's-
prime
this is his bodybuilder
Arnold
days.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is when
this
he was
is like-
getting it, dude.
He's getting his roles because he's jacked.
So
Kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Arnie.
He doesn't even
Well,
say
not even
anything,
like
does
getting
he?
roles at this point. I don't think because he's like uncredited in this. He's like
Is
he's
he
just like an
really?
extra. Yeah, he's listed as uncredited on IMDb.
That's amazing. I mean, is this his
So, like-
first appearance in a film?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't look into it, but it's probably one of his first because
That would
he's
be
definitely
incredible.
not. He doesn't have a speaking line. He doesn't say
No.
anything.
He's just
No,
got a
he doesn't.
grody little mustache and he's just like an insane, oily,
Insanely
tan
jacked
body.
person who has his pants down for 90% of the scene.
So
But like
weird.
just down enough to where the underwear is showing. It's like
Yeah.
such a weird middle scenario.
So in this scene too, I thought that he was gonna like re-break Joanne's nose when he like brings her in. I was so
Dude,
terrified.
I didn't know what the fuck was gonna. I thought he was gonna kill her.
This is his second role, for what it's worth.
Oh, for the Arnie, yeah, I was looking at that too. He was in Hercules in New York
Oh, did he
as
play
Arnold
Hercules?
Strong, Mr. Universe,
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
and that was
He's
3
just
years
playing
before
himself.
this.
Yeah.
So this was him really getting into a role then, or like not even getting into a role, getting
Getting
into an
into a
extra
film.
role.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have any notes in this scene besides "Hello Arnold." It's like a
Well, they
fact-
like so
It's
they
a weird
start
one,
taking
though.
off their clothes, like I was saying. Everybody in the room, because Augustine makes them, because he's talking about how when he went to apologize to the lady that he broke her face in the hospital, he got completely naked to say that he had that he
Nothing.
wasn't hiding anything. and he wants Marlo to do this because he wants Marlo to prove that he's not hiding anything and doesn't have the money because he doesn't believe him. It's like such a convoluted fucking what are you talking about? It doesn't make any fucking sense. You coked out freak.
It's also so weird that the friggin' $5,000 bill just fell out too.
Yeah, he's like, I see you've got a fucking $5,000 bill. Not many of those around. What's going on, my dude?
And he just looks down. And it's just
he gets a call from another room, and the guy's like, "Hey, you're gonna want to fucking listen to this." And then he goes out to the other room, and then he just lets Marlo leave. He's like, "No, we're Gucci," and he's got the bag of
all
cash
the money.
we see when
and he gives the $5,000 bill back. He's like, "For your troubles."
Yeah. It is tense though because they do say to cut off his dick. They were gonna cut Marlo's dick off.
I don't think they were gonna cut his entire dick off. I think he asked Harry to do it because Harry's Jewish, and I think they were gonna give him
a circumcision.
You
don't think he was circumcised in America?
What? I don't know, but that's
most people in America are circumcised, Jewish or not.
I know, but that was my impression from that scene
that Marlo
was he was going to have
Marlo
him do
clearly
has
weird... his foreskin.
Maybe, I don't know, but that's just the impression I got was...
That is an insane impression. I've never in a million years
I didn't get that
circumcision in that moment.
It just when he said something to Harry, he's like, Harry, you're something or another, you go to temple or something like that.
Augustine had the Star of David necklace.
I don't know, man. It's just the impression I got from the scene was they were going to give him a circumcision in the office.
Is it a part of Harry's character that he's Jewish? I didn't notice that.
No, but I mean, he kind of looks it, I guess. I don't know. That was my impression from the scene. I'm sorry. That's what I got from it.
No, that's fair. That's what we're here for. We're here for impressions.
I'm shook, dude.
I'm shook. I'm very shook. Anyway, so Marlo leaves. He's walking down out of the office, or whatever, and he sees Eileen driving away.
That bitch.
And so you get this great.
So I assume she gave the money
scene.
back to him, right?
Yeah, she did.
I don't know, but this dude, all right, so this part of the movie I didn't understand fully, because, how does he have this lung capacity? Dude smokes at least 2 packs a day. And he runs after a car, keeps up with it.
Yeah.
Mind you, it does stop at a couple stoplights, but
3 red
he's
lights,
keeping pace while it's moving. He's keeping good pace.
It's a great scene. Just him, hoofing it after a fucking car. Hey.
Is no one else shook by that?
I didn't notice. I'm not a big realism in movies.
It was weird. Also that she never heard him.
Well, I think she was ignoring him.
Yeah, I think she was ignoring him too.
Really?
Trevor, realism boy. You didn't think that his smoking addiction would cause him to be able to not keep up with the car?
I didn't even think about it.
Trevor's not. This is where he doesn't come in. Trevor's like, listen, realism.
Trevor was
only
thinking about
happens
that
with guns,
potential circumcision.
baby.
He doesn't care about lung capacity at that point.
Circumcision.
I was so shook from all these guys getting naked in the office.
Yeah, we were fucking this close to seeing a peen.
We were very close. It was upsettingly close.
So Marlo gets taken out by a car. Ends up in the hospital.
Yeah, he gets fucking hit bad. And then the first shot in the hospital is a guy in a full body. And it's a classic gag, but then it pulls out and it's him also next to him. And he's like, that guy's fucked up.
And gives him the mini harmonica for some reason.
That thing's dope, though.
Great.
But why? What was the point?
Who cares?
Nice.
The payoff is there. That's all that matters. You get a payoff with it.
I don't know. That was weird.
So he does the classic switcheroo.
But then he goes back to... Yeah, he goes back to Wade's house. No one's there. They're packing up the apartment or the house.
Yeah, she's gone.
Mm-hmm. And the real estate lady won't say
what happened.
Where what happened to her? What happened to Eileen?
Yeah.
Where'd she go? She's like, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. So I don't know. Some of this seemed like some jumps in logic at times.
You think so?
There was a couple of bits where I was like,
what parts?
When the cash showed up, it seemed like Marlo almost knew that was going to happen because he was like, "My guardian angel helped me out" or something.
I feel that's just
and it just seemed like he almost. I don't know. Maybe that's just me reading too much into it, but
I didn't think that. I just took it as him just being his classic self of kind of nonchalant.
Yeah.
He doesn't care that much or take anybody that seriously.
Yeah.
Even though they said these horrific things, he's like, I'm sure I'll get out of it because I'm me.
Right. What are you gonna do?
That's fair.
It's like the classic like cocky PI.
Yeah. So
All right.
he goes to Mexico again, right? Is that the next scene?
Yeah, back
Yep.
down to Mexico.
So he has
And that's when he
does
starts
the
to
joyride in
bribe the
gold cop car, which is great.
Yeah.
'Cause I think this is the biggest cop car I've ever seen. It's like a giant old Cadillac or some shit like that.
It is. It's
thing's
a boat.
So he tries to bribe
Jinx.
them to let them, like, because he's at that point, I guess, is kind of figuring out like what's going on. Doesn't think Terry's dead. He's
Yeah,
like,
he gets them to admit it.
right. And then
And then he goes to the estate where his friend is staying.
and how did he find that out?
It's
No
impossible
idea.
to say. It's completely impossible to say how he found it.
Like, the cops didn't
Maybe
tell
there was
him.
an address on the card. Was there an address on the card that he got with the money?
If there was an address, he would have just gone straight there.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to know for sure before he goes to an estate for no reason, my dude.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm making up conclusions. I don't
Yeah.
actually 100% know.
This is fair,
Um,
Trev, on your point.
But he
about
goes there,
logic
and then
jumps.
there's like a complete like just dump of information.
Yeah.
in this like final like pretty short scene.
But
it's
also-
like
Yeah.
not long at all.
great scene.
It's a very good scene, but it's so short. It's like, and they give you so much information.
I love it.
Like I was like really having to listen. I was like, because I like missed something at first, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think this is gonna last much
No,
longer.
it didn't. So basically, turns out Terry killed his wife because she was having an affair with Roger Wade, right?
No, he was having an affair with Eileen.
Oh fuck, other way.
Yeah.
And she found out.
Yeah.
And he told Roger, or she told Roger, or was gonna tell Roger.
Yeah, I think they were gonna tell him. I don't
Yes.
think Roger actually knew anything.
Okay.
I think Roger, God rest his soul, he's just fucking dead. He's because he was drunk and was
Yeah, pretty
hypnotized by
much.
Dr. V.
So they were concerned that Roger would find out. So he
Yeah.
killed his wife and fled. And then basically
He still
like,
had the money,
yeah, he still had the money.
but he didn't need it because he had her money now.
Right.
Yes,
Because
and
he talks about at the end how he has more money than all of them combined or something like that.
Yeah.
So he sent it back because it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically kept it as like a way for, like, whenever he died to make it more believable, I guess,
Yeah.
or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like he kept it just to
For cover.
make stuff, yeah, for
whatever.
cover and stuff like that. Which it's crazy, just
But
throwing
yeah,
your
so
friend under
Marlo
the bus
shoots
like
him.
that.
Yeah.
Marlo shoots
Yeah,
him
Marlo
and
shoots
he
him
falls
dead.
into the fucking river.
That shit was
or
amazing.
creek or whatever.
The
Pond.
that line is great too. I don't recall what it is now, of course, but it's like that basically ends with like you're a born loser. Like I forget why he gets to that point, but Terry just like basically insults him. He's like, "You're a loser. You're always gonna be a loser." And then Marlo's
Terry's
like,
an asshole.
Yeah, Terry's a cocksucker.
Yeah, they were supposed to be friends. What the fuck?
Terry's an asshole.
Yeah,
And then Marlo's like, "Yeah, I even lost my cat." And then he fucking shoots him, which is like, I don't know. For me, that's a phenomenal line. Shoots him dead, and then like, that's it. Like you get this like gratuitous shot of Terry in the water and blood coming up, and then Marlo like
Yeah.
leaves the estate, and then it's like this magnificent to me ending shot of him just like walking down this long road, but he passes Eileen. She's driving up to the estate, and he walks
Yeah,
he walks
that was
right by
That
her.
was really good.
Doesn't even acknowledge her. Just like
he
lights
pulls
a
out that little
cigarette.
harmonica,
Oh, yeah, it's the harmonica
and starts
right?
playing it.
Just starts playing the harmonica as she drives by, and then like it's just the credits start rolling, and it's him just walking down this really long, beautiful tree-lined street, and he's like elated.
He dances
He's
with the random
elated.
old lady.
Yeah, he dances with the lady, and then he's like throwing his hands up and like celebrating. And it's just like he's so happy to have like solved the
Yeah.
case.
You do
know?
see on her face though that like she. Can
Oh, she
tell
knows.
something was,
Yeah, she knows she's
like,
dead.
Fucked.
Something
knows he's
happened.
Because like, why would
Also,
he be there?
by the way, revolver was a Smith & Wesson Model 10 38 special.
Jesus Christ, Trevor.
Courtesy of what, Trevor? Courtesy of what?
I am FDB.
Fucking Trevor's wearing their merch right now. By the way.
I need
Trevor
to get
was-
some of their
Trevor
merch.
was-
Yes,
sponsored.
I am FTB shutter shades on right now.
I do need to see about if I can get one of their shirts.
Anyway.
If they have shirts even.
So
But yeah, no, that was the movie.
That's it.
It was a good pick, Will.
Thanks, guys.
It was very good. I was so like blown that I just hadn't heard of this movie before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
me
it's
either.
like so in my wheelhouse, like of movies that like I would have watched in
Yeah,
high school.
it's a very
it's like
sleeper
exactly like so many of the movies that I watched.
Yeah, it. I think Robert Altman is like apparently like a criminally underrated American director, and like I don't know much of his work. Obviously, I've seen this and I love it, but he made MASH too, which I've seen. It is also great, but he's like cited regularly as like one who's forgotten among all like the Tarantinos and Scorseses and whatnot. And watching this again just makes you. I'm gonna go watch like a lot of his movies. Like he made a movie called Nashville that's apparently really great, and he has like a western. He does like a bunch of different genre films, and he made Gosford Park, which came out in like 2001, I think. It's like a British, like it's like a Downton Abbey murder mystery type thing. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he's great. This is a great movie. It is, as you can probably glean from our conversation, I think, a little bit more focused with style over substance.
I think so. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
And I think, as Cobb knows, I love the movie Inherent Vice, and I think this movie, like, I think Inherent Vice is
Inherent Vice is all style.
Yeah.
Like no substance.
I think it owes a lot to this
in my
film.
opinion.
And obviously I love them both dearly, so you can kind of tell where I'm at. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you've watched it at this point, but if you, for whatever reason, listen to this entire thing and haven't seen it, go check it out.
I think that you, the
plot.
Yeah,
I
I would
mean,
probably recommend watching it before you listen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
just because,
as
like, I
always.
liked that I didn't see shit coming.
Yeah, but
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm happy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
I
did.
liked it a lot. It was a very good pick.
Sweet.
The characters were dope. They were crazy. I love that there was an Arnold Schwarzenegger cameo that fucking like made my day when I saw that. I was like,
That was
"Holy
crazy."
shit."
Yeah.
I was just not expecting that at all. It was so good.
And I loved the cat in the beginning.
Great
And I
cat.
still want to know what happened to the cat. I'm worried about the cat. Please, if anyone knows out there what happened to the cat, let me know.
The cat lives with the titty ladies now, but they don't know that the cat is living with
Why
them.
can't you just call them the hippie
She's-
neighbors? Why are they the titty ladies? I don't.
They're-
I
they're-
don't understand.
They do have their titties out the whole time, to be fair to Trevor.
They're not defined by their titties.
And even when
You're
they
right.
had
They're
shirts
not.
on,
They're
the
defined by
shirts
their
were
weird
see-through.
yoga stuff.
Yeah, they did say they were yogis that had a candle store.
Bro, they're just trying to get enlightened, dog. It's the 70s. You gotta wake up. Get woke, Trev.
True.
But yeah, did you guys have any final notes or anything?
Nah, go check it out.
No.
Shout out Elliot Gould.
Definitely go
Okay.
watch it and tune in next week when I bring something.
For Trevor's big pick, what could it be? What will it be this time?
Hopefully Abby censored it out, but if not, that's totally understandable because she already does too much for us anyway. Thank you, Abby.
Yo, shout out
Thank you,
Abby.
All right, guys.
All right.
That's it for us.
Yeah, peace out.
Stay safe out there.